Good evening, St. Helens. It's next part of story time with Mr. Chappell and Mr. Spence. And if you remember, on Friday, we left it with the giraffe and the pelly and the monkey being the heroes of the hour. They stopped the actual burglar from running away with the jewels of the Duchess. And if you remember, the Duke said that everybody could live at the house. And the giraffe was beginning to talk about what he liked to eat. So if you remember that, and on we go. You're absolutely right, Your Grace, said the giraffe. But the trouble with us is that we only eat. You don't have to tell me that either, cried the Duke. I know perfectly well a geranious giraffe can only eat one kind of food. Am I not right in thinking that the pink and purple flowers of the tinkle tinkle tree are your only diet? Yes, sighed the giraffe. And that's been my problem ever since I arrived on these shores. That is no problem at all here at Hampshire House, said the Duke. Look over there, my dear giraffe, and you will see the only plantation of tinkle tinkle trees in the entire country. The giraffe looked. She gave a gasp of astonishment, and at first she was so overwhelmed she couldn't even speak. Great tears of joy began running down her cheeks. Help yourself, said the Duke. Eat all you want. Oh, my sainted souls, gasped the giraffe. Oh, my naked neck. I cannot believe what I am seeing. The next moment, she was galloping full speed across the lawns and whinnying in with excitement. And the last we saw of her, she was burying her head into the beautiful pink and purple flowers that blossomed on the top of the trees all around her. As for the monkey, the Duke went on, I think he will be pleased with what I have to offer. All over my estate, there are thousands of giant nut trees. Nuts? Cried the monkey. What kind of nuts? Walnuts, of course, cried the Duke. Walnuts, screamed the monkey. Not walnuts. You don't really mean walnuts. You're pulling my leg. You're joking. You can't be serious. I must be wrong. There's a walnut tree right over there, the Duke said, pointing. The monkey took off like an arrow, and a few seconds later, he was high up in the branches of the walnut tree, cracking the nuts and guzzling what was inside. That leaves only the pelly, said the Duke. Yes, said the pelican nervously, but I'm afraid that what I eat does not grow on trees. I only eat fish. Would it be too much trouble, I wonder, if I were to ask you for a reasonably fresh piece of haddock or cod every day? Haddock or cod? Shouted the Duke, spitting out the words as they made a bad taste in his mouth. Cast your eyes over there, my dear Pelly, over to the south. The pelican looked across the vast rolling estate, and in the distance he saw a great river. That is the River Hamp, cried the Duke, the finest salmon river in the whole of Europe. Salmon? Screeched the pelican. Not salmon? You don't really mean salmon? It's full of salmon, said the Duke. I own it. You can help yourself. Before he had finished speaking to the pelican was in the air, the Duke and I watched him as he flew full speed towards the river. We saw him circle over the water. Then he dived and disappeared. A few minutes later, he was in the air again, and he had a gigantic salmon in his beak. Salmon in his beak. I stood alone with the Duke on the lawn beside his great house. Well, Billy, he said, I'm glad they're all happy. Well, what about you, my lord? I'm wondering, my lad, I'm wondering if you happen to just have one extra special little wish for yourself. If you do, I'd love you to tell me about it. There was a sudden tingling in my toes. It felt that something tremendous might be going to happen to me at any moment. Yes, I murmured nervously. I do have one extra special little wish. And what might that be? Said the Duke in a kindly voice. There is an old wooden house near where I live, I said. It's called the Grubber, and long ago it used to be a sweet shop. I've wished and wished that one day somebody might come along and make it into a marvellous new sweet shop all over again. Somebody? cried the Duke. What do you mean, somebody? You and I will do that. We'll do it together. We'll make it the most wonderful sweet shop in the world. And you, my boy, will own it. Whenever the old Duke got excited, his enormous moustaches started to bristle and jump about. Right now, they were jumping up and down so much it looked like he had a squirrel attached to his face. By gad, sir, he cried, waving his stick. I shall buy the place today. Then we'll get to work and have the whole thing ready in no time. You just wait and see what sort of sweet shop we're going to make out of this grubber place of yours. It was amazing how things began to quickly go after that. There was no problem buying the house because it was owned by the Giraffe and the Pelly and the monkey, and they insisted upon giving it to the Duke for nothing. Then the builders and the carpenters moved in and rebuilt all of the wooden inside so that once again it had 3 floors. On all these different floors, they put together rows and rows of tall shelves, and there were ladders to climb to the top of the highest shelves and baskets to carry what you bought. Then the sweets and chocks and toffees and fudges and nuggets began pouring in to fill all the shelves. They came by airplane from every country in the world, the most wild and wondrous things you could ever imagine. There were gum swizzles and fizzwinkles from China, froth blowers and spitzlers from Africa, tummy ticklers and gobwanglers from the Fiji Islands, and lip stuckers and plush muggers from the land of the midnight sun. And we'll see what happens tomorrow when we have a look at the next part of the story. What else is he going to have in his shop? Take care, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.